go for some disable here. They ban out Kunkka, and we'll have
and
the
that's
disable.
the perfect. This is like
Ooh, that does mean Tiny Core.
the best disabler in the game. He has the Hex, he has the Shackles, he has everything that causes a lot of nightmares for Weaver.
Tiny Core.
And
Medusa.
Okay, so I mean this is your carry that you are going to have in that middle lane, and you are relying on to carry the game. In concept, it's great against heroes like the Lifestealer. Lifestealer doesn't really get the chance to go up and hit the Medusa. Doesn't really have sort of the rate of damage to rip through a mana shield and stop her from getting the Stone Gaze off, which can be rather annoying. If it is going to be the Iceberg, the Iceberg Pugner against the Medusa in the mid lane, the Medusa has the Snake to sort of sap his mana, stop him being as sort of heavy-handed with the spam from the blast. It's an interesting last pick, but it's a hard hero to play Dusa because you have to slow down the game. You have to make sure that this Dusa is going to have a great time. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against Windstrike because they have they just have the better players in the long run. There's some classic players here. Iceberg, Nongrata, Silent. Like they should win, and I don't think they're going to give the space for this Medusa to come online.
I agree.
You agree? It's for the same reasons or different reasons?
I think they're the better team. Doesn't really matter what draft is going to be happening there. I also think that both teams kind of know each other, but yeah, I do think Windstrike have the upper hand here in this game.
Yeah, on my side, obviously we're looking at one team that seems to just have more experience. Even if there was no, like, ignoring the draft, right? You just say, all right, this team looks like it has more experience. It's not a hodgepodge of two different teams that got put together. And as this one unit, they still haven't really seen much success. But if you throw a really good draft on top of that,
yeah,
I mean, that's usually lights out. But again, both of these teams haven't shown that they're ready to take the next level. Well, let's look at what Loot.bet says. You put $1, and on Empire you get $1.43. You put $1 on Windstrike, you get $2.56.
I mean,
I think they're crazy.
Right. So now you need to go to the website, put in Valentine as your promo code, get the extra bonus money, and put it on Windstrike, right?
I'm surprised. Maybe Lootbet knows something about
Where's
Empire
my phone?
that we
Hold on.
don't.
Where's my phone?
Maybe
Let me
they know
put some
something
money
about
on it.
Empire that we don't. But
who do you have?
That's
Who you got?
confusing.
Windstrike.
Windstrike?
Absolutely.
I want to be different, but I can't. I got to go with Windstrike.
Oh.
Let's see if it's true.
Oh.
All right, yeah, we are about to find out. Breaky CPK joined by Purge. Here, Purge, welcome.
Hey, thanks.
You're a little busy there, playing some auto chess?
Yeah, and busily chewing a cough drop, so I cough less on stream today. It's the first time I've ever done that, but I was like, oh man, there's only 2 picks left. I need this to get on my throat stat. So, you know.
We got it. We got it.
It works out that way.
We got Windstrike versus Empire, of course, game number 1 of this best out of 3. Let's see what happens here. So Weaver's an interesting hero in the sense that I kind of agree with Pixel. This hero's had been picked up here and there and hasn't had the greatest success. Do you think this is a good game for him?
It's actually pretty good to play Weaver versus Lifestealer. I think that's the matchup aspect that is pretty good for them. If it is support, no, it's not going to be support Weaver. There's no way. He's doing some weird, like, spending all of his mana to cross the map. It looks like he's used a Mango as well, or Clarity to lane rotate. But Weaver's been, he matches up well against Lifestealer just because if he gets open wounds, he runs away. He does physical damage to Lifestealer, which is traditionally the counter, and even putting the bugs on top of Lifestealer means extra minus armor that adds up. So that part's kind of cool. It's going to be some incredible stuff happening when these bounty runes spawn, I must say.
Yeah, some crazy action here.
JK, they were gone for 17 seconds. Okay.
So
now we don't know who got them.
We are going to see the tri-lane, as you're pointing out, Weaver heading up to the top lane. Right now, it's only a dual lane for Windstrike. Currently, Coddle is going towards the bottom, so...
I like it. It's a good way to do this. They put the Doom against Tiny, which in Doom has really high raw HP, so that means that he's going to be less vulnerable to getting nuked. And then they get Weaver here against Lifestealer, which is going to give them the ability to just outlane him. Because, yeah, I know Phase Boots does give you a lot of armor on Lifestealer right now, but it's going to take a while to get the Phase Boots. That means until that point, Weaver's just going to be doing a lot of harass and not going to be threatened at all here. Now, there's a Shadow Shaman in the lane now. It is going to be a 1v1 bottom and now a tri-lane top. So maybe there will be disabled to kill the Weaver. And he certainly will have more mana problems than an older Weaver, but this tri-lane by Empire just looks really strong to me. But it's not bad on Windstrike either.
Yeah, currently got some action off to the side into the jungle, but Weaver focusing on the CS as well as Lifestealer, of course, in that lane. We have Medusa versus Pugna in the mid lane matchup. Pugna's getting banned a lot, I feel like, lately, specifically in the OD matchup that you're heroes or teams like to pick up. But again, no OD here.
Yeah, he's very good against OD just because his Nether Ward does more damage if you spend a lot of mana, and also you know, decrepping OD or the people he's trying to attack means he can't deal damage. So in this game, it's a little bit more surprising, but it can be very nice for overall burst damage. I would say it's not very great against Medusa generally, just because I mean she has so much HP that you're also damage blocking. Like the shield, the way the shield works is that it basically removes the damage before it takes into account like magic resistance. So it's actually a really good hero against Pugna for that reason, because you're basically like having the damage, and then yeah, it's going to get amplified by decrep, but not nearly as much as it normally would. So it's kind of cool about the Medusa pick. And it's also very good against Lifestealer because you can just turn on your ulti and you actually have a way to disable the guy, and it's also blocking a lot of the damage that he's outputting too. So in a lot of ways, it's a pretty sick game.
Speaking of Lifestealer, Silence in trouble right here, and it is going to be a first blood going the way of Empire. So yeah, this Weaver is being very aggressive on the support, spamming that Shukuchi, and then eventually they caught Lifestealer sleeping almost. Pushed too far up.
That one just seemed like one of those moments where they just weren't quite ready for it. He takes some nukes and he has to run home. He went to the side shop first, maybe bought a Boots of Speed or something. If he would have ran towards his allies, maybe he would have lived, but still kind of unlikely. So Dusa here and Dusa and Pugna trading hits a little bit. Dusa's got 3 tangos in the backpack, so she'll be completely fine here as they trade hits.
Yeah, Iceberg doing quite a bit of bodying in that mid matchup. 8-5 with Pugna. We got 9-7 Medusa. So Medusa the slight advantage at least for now in that mid lane matchup. At the bottom lane, Tiny is having the better time, of course, when it comes to last hits. That's an expertise of Tiny. 16-6 compared to that 12-2 Doom. Doom, albeit very tanky.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. I think it's probably better for Tiny, I would assume, because I feel like he's easier to rotate and get stuff done with. Whereas Doom has to get within like Doom range and follow up with like Inferno Blade. But yeah, I think both teams are going to be relatively happy with the lane setups, but I think it's probably going to be a little better for Empire. That said, though, Weaver does not have as many last hits as the Lifestealer does right now.
Yeah,
Ooh,
actually,
this is so sick.
Yeah, the Ink Swell combo, talk about some good synergy right there, no doubt. Astral getting hit by it,
He's
but now Dream's the
die.
one in trouble, getting netted up himself. Of course, no time lapse or anything. We're not even close to level 6, so easily goes down. They do kill Ross in return, but that's a 1-for-1 trade that you'll gladly accept for Winstrike.
Yeah, if that was old Inkswell, that's a kill for sure.
Yeah.
When it did like twice the damage. But he wasn't able to get both of them together, basically. And at level 2, you're really limited by your Shukuchi cooldown. So ends up getting killed once he separated himself so far from his allied heroes. And the other problem is that having a Winter Wyvern as your third hero, he can work really well in a tri-lane, but he's not good at like overextending and taking a fight in the middle of the jungle. It's more like you want to play around the creep waves so that Splinter Blast is a lot more useful.
Yeah, even though it didn't work there, again, that Inkswell synergy is no doubt very potent, and I'm sure we'll see it come out more.
Oh,
From this Radiant.
This kill here.
Very dumb.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
What? That
Nope,
was. Are you
he's
still
still-
gonna?
No, the
That was
very
so
mana
garbage by
shield.
Princess. Honestly, that was so bad. That was the most easy kill I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He did like a ranged avalanche. I don't know why you don't walk into melee range, and then just have a toss and then start hitting. It's
just
like he tried
guarantee
hitting
it,
first.
yeah.
Or, I don't even remember, but that was garbage. That was a guaranteed ass kill. All you had to do is wait for Pugna to be back with one blast, and it definitely dies.
Yeah.
Maybe he was worried about being called or something. It still ends up getting the kill anyways in the mid lane. But ugh,
Yeah.
that was painful to
It
watch.
was pretty bad initially, but as we pointed out, I mean, he still gets the kill a little bit down the line, so
Yep.
well, somewhat saving grace, I guess. But
And he's going to find another opportunity here with
Wow.
the other heroes fighting at least.
yeah, Connell's already picked off. Dream still looking for more, getting Shukuchi on through. There's that toss, though. The tree's going to miss, however, and Weaver surviving for the time being. Not much life to work with, but
Yeah.
he's got his distance, so he'll be good. Shrine is up. Go over there and pop it together. So Tiny's doing a lot of moving, though, and
Oh, that was
Lifestealer's
cool.
actually transitioned bottom.
Oh, well, believe it or not, though, yeah, this guy has been gone on for a while here. That was cool. Princess basically disabled with an avalanche, and he ended up tossing him back to his Shadow Shaman, whereas it looked like Grimstroke was being able to stay alive. So those rotations actually worked out quite good. But this is crazy, actually. Doom's almost level 6 now, and he's up against the level 3 Lifestealer. If he gets 6, he can easily get a kill here, especially with 3 Infernal Blades. And Phase Boots, this is so perfect for him.
Yeah, it looked like, I was going to say, he's almost level 6. He just walks right up, and there's the Infernal Blade. He's not going for it, though.
Yep. It's got to work him down just a little bit first. He might go for it now as soon as he gets another Infernal Blade. But it's a little hard because he's got boots of his own, so he can get away from this pretty easily. But if he feels the right moment, he's definitely going to Doom the Lifestealer. It would help more if he had Scorched Earth as well. but he hasn't picked up one of those levels just yet.
How about that creep that he has, by the way, the Troll Priest, I believe it is, both the regen and the mana R that it provides. But hold that thought, because Grimstroke,
You could doom him.
he's trying to survive. There is the
This
Doom.
is not bad. They just need to follow up here. Okay, yeah, Iceberg is pretty much dead now. That was really nicely done.
Storm supplied.
Ooh,
Chase
okay.
from Weaver, Illuminate coming through.
Look at
Iceberg
denied.
can deny,
Okay.
yeah. So that actually buys him enough time to deny him at least, making the best of it. And
It almost didn't work though.
yeah,
And now the Weaver's rotating. It
Uh-oh.
looks like they're basically lane switching. The downside here is that they don't have that many low levels of Sakuchi.
has enough mana for the rage,
too
and he is good.
They're definitely going for some chases. I don't blame them for doing this, but what? I was curious about that Wraithband in the backpack, but he's spending a lot of time rotating. And he's not technically the hardest carry, I guess, because they have Medusa, but just would have wished they would have been more successful there. The Pugna grab was good, but their issue is they just don't have very good disables outside of like Inkswell and some. It's like both of the supports don't have the most reliable disables. But if
Yeah.
you pair Doom with like a stun, heroes die no matter what, pretty much. So
Oh,
they're-
yeah.
they're just a little limited in guaranteeing these kills, but still a really good place for Empire to be.
Well, and of course, they do have the Grimstroke synergy with Doom. The double Doom always good. And Shiver brought up a good point, though, about the whole Curse Soulbind synergy. It's like
Yeah.
kind of
really
good, but not good. at the
In
same
what
time.
way?
Well, the idea that you're using Curse on both targets, and they're not going to be attacking each other,
Oh.
right? So, but it does disable them.
I thought for some reason I thought you were talking about Doom with Grimstroke ulti.
Well, yeah,
Which
there's
is
that
God
too.
tier.
That's
It's so
obviously really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a very good combo.
It's really good.
But the Curse is interesting.
I'm kind of curious what this Winter Wyvern got for his skill build on level 3. I was kind of thinking maybe he should get his 3rd skill, because then basically, no matter what, Windstrike can't kill heroes in the laning stage. Because they would have because basically Shaman has to disable heroes so that Lifestealer can hit him. I thought maybe that would make it worthwhile. Here comes a gank. Although they're going to turn things around potentially and kill Pugna perhaps, but with this rotation, maybe not.
Yeah, it seemed desperate almost. Medusa had plenty of life. Iceberg's able to survive, though, because the Shackle's coming out. He's now got the life drain. We'll get the kill on Grimstroke, still being run down by Medusa. And he's skilled that Phantom's Embrace. Cannot take it out in time. The auto attack's enough from Medusa. Shackles, but they're too close to the tower. Are they? Princess wants it. Ain't going to get it.
That Mana Steal was actually huge. Because with this massive stick that she's got picked up as well, she's in a good place for potentially rotating in here. Trying to body block, but being phased.
Has Doom, if wanting it, or it just came up, actually, so
Yeah.
unable to use it on the Tiny, at least. But they go Rasta.
Yeah, just a small rotation to secure that. It's been completely fine here. Yeah, he did actually get his 3rd skill. So that was about what I was thinking. Because I was thinking, once Weaver's Sakuchi's on cooldown, he just is way too vulnerable to Lifestealer. It's just a lot of damage, so...
Oh, there's the Doom. Silent. Simply walking away. Goes back to the bit of lacking disable, but they got plenty of damage. And he's definitely dead. No deny chance here. Or is there? Are
my
you
God.
kidding me? Misha's able to deny it some way, somehow. Astral, though, in trouble still. Shackles up on a Maiden. Not going to be enough, though. He goes down. Here comes Princess, however. Doubles Avalanche. He wants to kill the Weaver, but Weaver's a bit more slippery. Tatum runs the other direction. Wyvern's going to be the one tossed up. Trees get destroyed. Out comes the Illuminate. So Wyvern even is still alive, but finally goes down.
I couldn't believe that guy was staying
Yeah.
alive there. Iceberg cleaning up the Weaver over by the Secret Shop as well, so very good for them.
Yeah, Weaver getting killed off on top of that. So exchange favoring Windstrike in that case, as we do have Iceberg going to be taking out some neutrals nearby, but Doom. We'll just go back to CS again. Doom has been on top of the network charts. I know as I say that, Tiny slightly takes over, but he is going to go the Hand of Midas on Doom. So he's going to try to keep up in that net worth. How do you expect that to translate this game?
It's normally, in the past, it's been kind of a weird item choice because you kind of can farm fast anyways with your skills, and it makes it feel like you just don't really need it in some ways. But he's also top of the net worth right now. He's also gone, his skill build hasn't been like Max Devour plus Hand of Midas. If you go that, you're kind of throwing the game because you don't have very many kill options. But by maxing out his Infernal Blade and getting a Midas, then he still has kill options. He just needs to translate into some movement speed. And once he gets one Scorched Earth point, he's already fine movement speed-wise. So just like a Windlace and one Scorched Earth, and he's going to have huge kill potential even if he goes back for Midas. So I think it's completely fine this game. It's a nice measured position when he's ahead, and he's been safe on the skill build.
Yeah, about making space for that Weaver, or not really the Weaver, more so the Medusa specifically. Weaver, of course, ideally would help with that space creation. But Pugna, able to push that mid tower. It's a specialist at that, of course. Using that Nether Blast level 4 currently. And speaking of Hand of Midas, we are in the Midas meta apparently. Weaver's also planning to go on.
Probably not a bad idea, especially for him because he's really behind. And Weaver doesn't farm super fast outside of creep waves, so or like tempo beating heroes out. So he needs items to accelerate. Attack speed is really good. And he should really turn this into strength items afterwards, because he just needs to increase his raw HP so he doesn't die as easily to like tiny combos. Possible gank going on mid lane on Grimstroke here is pushing out a creep wave. Does throw silence to slow things down.
And Decrep's worn off, but he's going to run right into his good buddy Tiny. Buddy not so buddy-like. Tosses him, throws him down in the air. Easy kill. Medusa able to get away, though.
I'm not too concerned that he died there at all, to be honest, because they already lost the tier 1, so he's trying to basically pressure by pushing it out. And look at Medusa. She was nearby, probably jungling, and she didn't get ganked as a result. Weaver also needs levels and farm to catch up, and even Doom trying to finish his Midas. Or I can't remember. Yeah, he just got it now. So Grimstroke dying here, not a big deal. He's counter pushing the lane. He's making sure that Pugna doesn't just sit under the tier 2, and it just creates space for the rest of the team.
Jeez, they still wanted that Medusa, but even forcing a stone, they want it still. Princess toss, this time he connects on top of the Pugna, but Pugna is busy dealing with a Wyvern. In comes that Will-O-Wisp, however, still locking down Medusa, keeping her in place. Out comes that Cold Embrace, going to save her for the time being. The trap of the double doom in the backline, however, Astral's definitely dead. Misha still running away. The Medusa will survive. They get her out of the ward trap. What a turn for Empire. A double kill for Madden. It's already 3-0, and they want more. Iceberg run down, Dream on top of him. Iceberg decrepify the life drain. He'll heal enough for now. Something tells me it's not going to work out in the long run, though. Stroke of Fate eventually going to be coming out, canceling it constantly. Decrepto, but the stroke connects, and down falls Pugna. That's a 4-0. I mean, you're diving a tier 2 tower at 12 minutes into the game, essentially.
It looks so good, though. Like, Dusa wasted her ulti.
Yeah.
She was completely out of mana. Tiny gets the combo and tosses her back into a good place. They put Will-O-Wisp on top of her, and I'm like, she's screwed.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like, Grimstroke pops out of nowhere. Doom is rotated over already. They get the double Doom, and the fight's completely over. Because now Shadow Shaman doesn't get shackles. He doesn't get hexes. I mean, he got his wards down, which was good. But like keeping Coddle and Shaman completely out of the fight once they get double Doom just closes things out. Especially because Lifestealer wasn't able to be there. They were doing this kind of like poking pressure at the enemy tier 2. He can't show up, so it's not even a fair fight anyways, because everybody on Empire got to rotate.
Yeah, and Lifestealer doesn't necessarily want to fight right now. He's still building that Radiance, 1,000 gold saved up since getting his own Hand of Midas, so he'll be out of action very likely for a while.
Yeah, he's just not the biggest. He doesn't do the most damage right now. At least not until he finishes his Midas. He'll just be kited too much otherwise.
Top tower is under attack.
Well, I assume that he's going to start doing Infest Bombs, but it's probably going to take Tiny getting a Blink Dagger, I assume.
And how is that going? It's 4,300 net worth, so he might be having it soon. Looking forward to.
Yeah, it's only 1,300 gold right now. It's pretty far away. And on the bright side, Pugna rotated top to help push the top lane with him. It's possible we'll see Empire rotate up there to slow things down. They actually do get a kill on the Weaver.
And the tip.
It had to be like a big mistake because he kind of died in a weird area.
Yeah.
Unless he was life drained.
And Weaver against a Lifestealer Pugna doesn't seem like something that should kill him necessarily.
Generally, no. He's probably trying to play around it,
Yeah.
but ended up overstaying his welcome just a little bit too long.
Oh, they got somebody else. Easy kill on Grimstroke this time around.
That's one of those situations where your support probably shouldn't die, but you're trying to like elongate the lane, basically. Okay, he used time lapse. Why did he run that way? Oh, because he knew there was probably here, so he barely died. Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
Now the range of that is pretty long.
Just trying to play around basically and made mistakes. That's pretty much it.
Now, this is going to transition all the way now, obviously with the Grimstroke kill on top of that, to a tier 2 tower push. They're pushing with the Wards of Rasta. And very likely, probably not actually. They are defending it. Drain Life coming out from Pugna. Going to do some more damage to the tower, but ultimately they will hold at the tower. For at least now, but Pugna, no reason for him to stop, I suppose. Going to keep spamming out with another blast.
Oh, that's cool, and he's abusing Coddle's Chakra Magic as well to get 2 blasts off every time he wants to.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, you pointed out we saw Amber Spirit synergy yesterday with this. It's a really ridiculous ability, honestly. Silent, running away with Rage, and there's time to retreat apparently, Maiden. He's got the Ink Swell, not going to connect in time.
You could probably also double decrep somebody. I don't know if it refreshes the cooldown or applies the second buff, but
good point.
If it applies the second one, it's probably obscene. I've never seen that combo before. But this is just a little bit of the bit of smart stuff.
Will-O-Wisp, they're dancing now. They get the 1 kill on Grimstroke, and that'll be the end of the chase. Doom realizing it's a lost cause. So yeah, they kept pursuing.
I think it's, again, same thing. It's okay for a support to die doing that. And I also liked how Windstrike was playing that fight. They experienced the double Doom, and now they just have to be really careful. They have to sit like their tanky hero on the front, Lifestealer, and they have to be very careful about anybody else getting close so that they don't get linked together.
Doesn't seem like this is going to work.
It is not.
Just, I guess, get some damage out. But that's all that really was. Back to farm. Lifestealer will go again. He's still working on that Radiance. Dagon from Pugna, by the way, just picked up. That's talk about heavy burst.
I mean,
plenty of it.
I mean, if he's got the double blast already, it's going to be insane amounts of damage.
And you got a hero like Weaver. Of course, you want to be able to burst that hero down before you can time lapse. Chikuchi away, or whatever it may be. Puts down another ward. It's a level 1. Out comes a Doom, though. Now Iceberg might have overcommitted. Misha's going to do what he can. We've seen it before. He's denied twice already. Is this going to be a third? No. And because of the attempt, he might also fall now, unless Princess has something to say about the avalanche on both. But the curse comes out. Misha attacking him, keeping him in place though for the time being. Silent going to go on top of the Grimstroke, but they lose the Coddle already. Man, and look at how fast he is jetting around. He's got drums recently. That's helping things out. Princess ends up falling as well. Silent, he's still got plenty of life. It's kicking in against Maiden, but again, Maiden's too fast, trying to get his partner out of that ward trap. Grimstroke finally goes down there. Lifestealer bomb Infest, helping to take him out, but he's lost all his teammates. It's just a 4 versus 1 now, and Lifestealer does not want to engage further.
The crazy thing is Medusa's not even here.
Yeah, that's true. 3 versus 1.
She's hitting neutral. She was like, I don't need to go. This is fine. I'm pushing on the other side of the map. I'm getting maximum farm. I'm taking neutral camps. I'm pushing a creep wave in a lane. Just ideal for her.
Yeah, that's got to feel really good for Empire, knowing that they can win a fight such as that. And on top of it, Medusa continues her farm.
So Weaver ended up building Treads first, just to elongate his mana. It's a much more efficient item, considering his position, because when you're using Bottle, Tread switching is going to be a lot more valuable than having something like a Midas for attack speed. I mean, Treads is like far less money than it would cost to buy a Midas. It's like 500 gold cheaper for the damn thing, so, and it gives you almost as much attack speed, basically as much. He's so strategy Treads, so.
Wow. Well, see a glimpse of what's to come, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh,
a lot of damage.
Easy one on Grimstroke. Pretty fragile hero in this case already, to be fair, but definitely got to look out for that, especially if you're going these Hannah Midas on the Weaver. Not going to help him tank up necessarily.
Yeah, what they're going to with the Dagon, magic resistance and a little bit of HP. Even things like bracers, like throwing a bracer or two. Yeah, like I think this is definitely one of those games where even on interiors, throwing a bracer maybe. It'll help a lot. That'll get a fast Glimmer Cape.
Well, he almost has his Midas, but well,
that was sick. That was the Observer Ward that got him that kill. He never would have had that otherwise.
Yeah, right there. You see it. Default Observer Ward. But easy kill. That's, again, taste of things to come. So Weaver going to have to be worried about that. I assume, again, he's already bought the recipe for the Midas, so he's 100% committed to that.
In some ways, I wish it was a pipe, but he's definitely making the right choice just because it's going to help his team a lot against things like Lifestealer.
That bottom lane action picking up down here. Medusa's chasing after somebody, and you got
the fast Manta.
Doom porting in. And the Manta style finished on Medusa. They're going after Rasta, but
they might catch Tiny.
A bit too quick. Tiny. Avalanche, and that'll be the end of that. I assume Tiny has his Blink by now. That kind of goes back to your point earlier. The Infest bomb. So at this point, again, Lifestealer me did Rasta at least. This Winter's Curse has definitely been clutch. The Doom on top of Princess. They use Stone Gaze. They really wanted to make sure they won that fight outright, and that they do. But now Doom overstepping a bit the nuke, but he's one of the few really tanky heroes, and it is not enough damage to kill him.
That is such a dirty combo. Like, everything Empire is doing with their combo looks cool. The Winter's Curse into the Deuce ulti, it's like you know exactly where they're going to be looking. So not only do you guarantee that one guy dies of the Winter's Curse, but then you also stun the other two for like 3 seconds afterwards. That's such a cool combo.
Get them to run away. And then it sets up an easy Doom target, as we saw too. Iceberg, he's being run down. The Swarm's on top. He's trying to kill that little damn bug, and still hasn't even killed it, but Decrep keeps him alive.
Either the bug or the spirit, both are annoying to deal with.
True. Oh yeah, he's got, I didn't even think about that. Swarm and the Embrace. That's, gotta pick and choose which ones you want to attack right there. Shadow Shaman, he's working on Blink. He got the Aether Lens, so you know what that can do. And I think he has a talent as well, where extra range, so those shackles get pretty long.
Yeah, once it gets to 15, chances to win have gone up so far based on the game.
Yeah, I was kind of with the panel there, but at the Windstrike's lineup has changed a little bit since that Windstrike we knew last season. Empire, again, they've been so-so throughout this year. I still think it was a bit more skewed than it should have been going into the series, but yeah, it feels pretty good right now for Empire. So take advantage of those odds if you like. But I mean, the odds right now, as far as the net worth in game, it's actually very close. It's less than 1,000, according to the end game for Empire.
Does have good options too. Medallion now picked up for Lifestealer. They've got a Radiance up. The Lifestealer is definitely farmed, and here comes their first big rotation. This is really what's been holding them back, is that it's taken them some time to be ready to do these kinds of early fights.
Well, and he just got the Radiance. Well, that much more damage to come, and They got the Grimstroke. It's not the most ideal target once again, but it will be an easy kill. However, the Curse, but the Rage preventing Lifestealer from attacking. And Princess is in by your teammates, but team game here. Competitive atmosphere. I'm sure they appreciate what he did for them. As Rasta still working on that blink, as mentioned earlier. Talk about Tiny already having one now with the Infest bombs. Having a Rasta follow-up would be nice. So these items starting to look decent, but on the other side, the pipe was just finished for Doom. We've already talked about the possibilities of what that's going to do this game specifically against Pugna, of course. But you also now have the Radiance Burn kicking in, so multiple reasons.
He farmed that thing really fast.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like he just finished his Vlad's like 3 or 4 minutes ago, and it's a little scary for Windstrike because killing that guy is not going to be easy.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah,
tower
2,000
is
life
under
on
attack.
top of that resistance that he has to work with. Currently has the Alpha Wolf eaten,
Yep.
providing that damage buff for the
Dire's
team as well as
top
himself.
tower is under attack.
As top lane Weaver, what did he get? He went a Dragonlance, and he had a
like it.
BKB queued up after.
Yeah, he kind of has to just go really inexpensive ways to increase your health, and that's usually why you buy Dragonlance, because your attack range is not incredible, and you know, being able to stand farther away from Lifestealer or Pugna is always going to be nice to have. And just more raw HP, so the burst is less likely to score kills on you.
Now, while they're kind of sitting up here, you see the bottom lane. There is some push happening. Grimstoke's already TP'd in. Somebody else maybe as Tiny tries to jump, but that'll be the end of that. Bottom lane where the action's at. And watching Life Bears
We'll
at
never get
the
to
top
see
lane as
There it is.
there we go. Astral goes down. There we go.
I
See the
believe
action now.
They may have gotten the double doom, and that's going to look like a kill.
That is. Oh yeah, was it a double team even? Okay, yeah. Soulbind was used too. Dream, he's fine. He's got time lapse worst case, but yeah, great TP rotation from Empire. I noticed that they were pushing their tier 2, thinking they get a trade or something. I guess they did get the tower kill still, but lose
They
2
were
in
able
the
to
process.
catch up, I guess.
Yeah, so Lifestealer is going to sit on the sidelines for about 35 seconds. And despite having the Radiance finished, progression halted. Although the net worth suggesting that he's keeping up with Medusa fairly well. For now, as we talk about Medusa, she's working on the dive. Scotty kind of camping for the 25-minute bounty rune, but Tiny, he's quick on that blink dagger.
Yeah, her items might look a little weird to you guys, but there's some good things about Manta in this game. You can remove open wounds. You can remove Decrepify from your hero. You can split push with that because your illusions are obviously going to have multiple attacks. So, and that's really important because against a hero like Pugna, what Pugna wants to do is just push out all the waves, and then he wants to Nether Blast towers. If creep waves are at towers, he gets tower damage and he pushes the creep wave. So if they just do a good job of keeping lanes pushed out all the time, then it's going to be a lot harder for Windstrike to get on top of towers with Shadow Shaman, with the Pugna. And also, being able to pressure towers means that enemy heroes have to show up, and you know where enemy heroes are going to be based on you pushing lanes, that's exactly when Tiny wants to jump out and get kills.
Now, Medusa's most certainly a core you can play around. You know you can play this 4-1 strategy if you need to, and I'm kind of wondering with the start for Weaver especially, is this a game where we possibly see earlier Ags
On who?
on Weaver? You
Yeah,
know, we were
certainly
seeing
possible.
that build a fair amount last season even.
It would be okay just because it would increase his raw health. The downside is that it would kind of limit his hero into doing nothing offensively, which he doesn't necessarily want. He's queuing up his Solar Crest instead, which is definitely a better option because that means that he's going to be able to increase the raw survivability and attack speed and movement speed of one of his allies that are ideally hitting a tower. So his goal is basically just to be, he wants to be the hero in the dangerous lane, pushing it out and trying to counteract what his opponents are doing. He got punished a lot earlier on, but now he's kind of in a good survivability standpoint where he can be this person that is still hard to kill outside of when Shadow Shaman gets on top of him. So I think I like what he's doing, and the fact that he's going to go Solar Crest is still going to further facilitate him staying alive.
Yeah.
Because time lapse is great and all, and it can be really good, but they don't really need it on their cores. Medusa's really hard to kill.
True.
Doom's really hard to kill. The best heroes to use it on would be like himself, and the supports are usually not who you want to use it on.
Oh, they got Dream here. Is it enough damage up front? It is not. The time lapse comes out, and now it's going to come at a cost. They lose Rasta. They're going to chase for more. Pugna. They want to pursue him. Nighttime currently, so not the greatest vision to work with, and Pugna able to make it out of there.
And he got to use time lapse on himself because that's what
Yeah.
it normally does, and it's perfect.
It's
you know,
pretty good.
Yeah, buying an Ags this game is not really needed.
Yeah, I
based
think
on
that the
sur-
tanking is
survivability.
definitely overlooked there, so that's a good point.
Rarely kept him alive with that stun interruption,
Mhm.
so that was good.
Tiny's hunting. He's got a double damager in it. I feel like this is happening often. Although Force Staff, this time it's not going to happen. He won't die. He stays alive because of that Force Staff. And we also saw the Force Staff on Medusa. What you were mentioning, the Manta style. I mean, we see right there an example why Force Staff is pretty good this game too.
Yeah, it would have been more hits for sure.
Doom, he's going in, jumps on a Princess. No Doom itself coming out though. Obviously they were attempting Roshan, but not enough damage for the actual kill. Gets stopped by Windstrike for now. Forced to somewhat put out a fight. In fact, the Doom comes up on a silent. In comes the Will-O-Wisp, however, and the pushback with the Blinding Light. They're going to keep them occupied and let that Doom wear off. Ideally, Wyvern gets bursted down from the shotgun of Iceberg, but now they catch up to Astral and a couple of hits from them. They lose one, so it's a 1-for-1 exchange.
Yeah, that was a good person to focus on because he tried to cast Winter's Curse right before he died, but then that work got him.
Princess, he jumped in.
The
and
Scotty is so
he
good
ends up
right
going
now.
down. Yeah, the Ice Scotty is preventing them from getting away and doing what you really picked it up for. You have to run away from Lifesteal. They chase down middle lane, but they cut to the right. Doom picks up on that, and now he's running after them. They lose Sayu. Playing that Grimstroke, Iceberg able to finish him off at least as that support, but popping a Shrine, not going to go uphill into it. Now they're deciding, well, might as well push tier 2, says Empire.
Yeah. That's definitely the right thing to do. I mean, Medusa's virtually unkillable this game. I don't think Radiance is going to do that much against Medusa, shutting her down, so they just need to keep their cores alive and end up picking off enemy heroes without getting super caught out of position.
There's that tier 2. Again, might think about Roshan. We saw them doing it just prior to this, but it was more of a sneak attempt, I suppose, now that that they're aware on the side of Windstrike. But they're going right back into it. Still feel confident. They have
Is still
Stone Gaze.
pushing, though. They might have to go back.
Yeah. Oh, the top lane, right. Stone Gaze is ready if
He's
necessary.
keeping back. So it's most likely Grimstroke will stop the top push. They just got to take Roshan out.
Not the fastest Roshan team, though. It's showing here.
True.
Well, there we go. They got a medallion.
The bugs helped a lot. I'm sure there was a lot of minus armor, but now it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, Silence causing issues. Again, not using the Stone Gaze yet, but Silence making this a very difficult task. And Grimstroke coming in now, too. Princess, they focus on him. That's the second time we've seen that happen, where he kind of jumps in and they just turn their attention. He just melts. He buys back, though. Time lapse. Activated by Weaver. Gets away from Silent. They lock him in place with a curse. They're trying to finish off Roshan. It's still not the most damage. Can Medusa kill him in time? Not doing much else. Princess jumps into the last second. They lose Winter Wyvern. Who's going to get the Roshan kill in the Aegis? That's what I'm focused on right now. Maiden actually falls on Doom. Finally, Roshan goes down and is picked up by Kodos on this Medusa. Princess stuck in the midst of it, but Medusa's losing plenty of teammates around here. Die back on a Tiny, however, but Medusa's definitely going to fall. No, the force ever with the ledge. She's going to be fine. What a play by Grimstroke. Pushing him over, but it's still not enough. The nuke comes out from Rasta to take her out. However, buyback from Doom. Doom is ready to go as well. Silent gets hit, and the
damage.
split shot from Medusa doing so much. They take out 2. Iceberg gets hit by the stroke of fate, and then turn in the end. Favorable for Empire.
It looked so fine for Windstrike,
It
but then
did.
all of a sudden Dusa was just attacking and everyone was dead.
Yeah,
It changed so rapidly.
that was pretty crazy change of pace, but the buyback on Doom, clearly the biggest of all the buybacks.
And you know what it was actually, is that Doom shows up, he jumps in with a Vlad's and a Pack Leader's Aura, and all of a sudden Medusa does 40%, 45% more damage. That was basically like, he shows up, Dusa does 90 more damage.
Yeah.
Like their lineup is so synergistic because of reasons like that. That's why she was hitting crazy hard.
Yeah, on top of the Doom and the Lifestealer himself, but yeah, absolutely providing all that damage for Medusa. Clearly the ultimate turn tool, and she has a 3,000 gold saved up. So again, losing the Aegis, but it
That's
was
good
used
use.
well.
Yeah, they got the full wipe. They got a lot of gold out of that.
Yeah.
Definitely good for them.
6K net worth lead, the biggest of the game, favoring Empire right now. And when you have that with the Medusa on top, of course, feeling pretty good. And obviously one of the nerfs recently to Medusa was that level 20 talent change. Well, she's 23, so she's going to be 25 shortly here. It's 1,000 mana. Now, there is that split shot modifier. You do have a nice Scotty. Could you see her going that, or would you expect 1,000 mana?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
1,000 mana is really good for
It's
sure.
a
It
lot.
makes her actually unkillable. It'll definitely help, especially against Pugna. I'm not sure. Feels like the mana is kind of hard to pass up, but she's also stupid rich right now, and she basically has 3 item slots open. So, I mean, in some ways she doesn't need the survivability that much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what she does. She's
get
going
like-
Butterfly next.
Yeah. Could get like an MKB later on and things like that.
Yeah. MKB could be okay. I would honestly like Daedalus too.
True.
I think. Does split shot modifiers work with that? It probably does, right?
I assume so, yeah. That's
I'm unsure.
a
but-
reason why that could benefit there.
Yeah, but something like split shot modifiers with the Daedalus could be a pretty sick pickup. She kind of needs a solution against Decrep other than Manta. Like against people that get Decrep, then she can't attack them. I don't know. Maybe there's an item solution there. I'm not sure though.
Ethereal Blade.
All right, they Winter's Curse here to break through his rage momentarily. We'll see if they try to kill him.
Smart use there. Nice job with the Manta,
Manta.
however. Yeah, we're seeing plenty of that today, honestly. Some Manta dodge is pretty clutch, but
He dies there, I think. Otherwise,
oh yeah, the Radiance
Well, they
Manta
didn't have-
build.
They didn't have Doom, I guess. But
What is going on here? Dream gets picked off elsewhere. That was actually okay. He was in the base. I'm not sure about that, but and apparently now they're chasing more. Iceberg, however, he gets doomed up. He jumped too damn far. Infernal Blade auto attack will secure that kill. Princess going for the turn, but out comes a Cold Embrace. Wyvern, he's good for now. And now Doom wants somebody else. Princess, he's already done his big burst. Wyvern just being distracted off to the right, though. Medusa sitting in the backlines, doing what she does best, putting in those auto attacks. Silent cannot get away. The Eye of Scotty Slow so powerful, but Maiden gets locked up with the shackles, and Rasta will help save his life. The teammate also sets up the turn kill with Princess jumping in on Tiny for the takeout on Doom, but Kodos, he'll back it off for now.
Maybe MKB is better just because of the blind from Cuddle.
True.
I mean, Lifestealer also has 20 evasion, so it might be a value.
All right, the level 20 talent, yeah.
But they actually got cleaned up pretty decently. It wasn't the most easy fight for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's you can feel the win strike that they're having to play very defensive right now. Pugna's not able to do that counter pushing necessarily. You know, Roshan happened fairly recently ago, so we'll see how things change here. And yeah, sure enough, Medusa does have the MKB queued up, so I think that, like you mentioned, the blinding light specifically is the big reason.
Yeah, it's a little bit too painful. If she has a small window to get kills, she needs to make sure she can hit her target, and 75% more accuracy is really going to help with that. The fight was a little bit harder than I expected it to be, though, because they got such an easy kill on Pugna. He decrept himself, it got dispelled with Doom, he got hit with an extra Splinter Blast. He died right at the start of the game. The fight was still very difficult, but they did kind of dive. I guess they dove high ground into Plague Wards. Or Serpent Wards.
Yeah, Weaver specifically, again, we didn't really catch it on camera. We can see on the mini-map where he died. It was, I don't know, he might have got tossed in, to be fair, but either way, got picked off right there. Overreaching slightly, so if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Tier 3 tower's even still up on top of all of that. Something that the Radiant team will have to make sure that they do before they feel very confident in this game. As back-to-back pauses here.
I like what Grimstroke is building. He's already got Blink and Eighth Thrones and a Force Staff.
Wow.
And now he's going to go for a Hex instead. Maybe in some way like a Glimmer Cape could be good. But once he gets Hex, he can just find these opportunities and snag them. Here's the loop at current odds. Bet $1, you can win 121 if you bet on Empire. Whereas on Windstrike, you can win $3.08. It keeps getting more and more in Empire's favor.
Yeah, I still feel like that's so high. Like Windstrike, comeback's very possible here. I mean, this is not an over game by any means. And again, Medusa 25 is very dangerous, sure, but the Lifestealer bomb we haven't really seen a lot of though. And do you call that a fault of Windstrike, or is that more so Empire's just?
It was a limitation of the heroes that they had to bomb with. You needed Blink Daggers for it to work, so you had to wait until Tiny finished that for it to be more valuable. And even if they ganked, it wasn't super easy against like Weaver, even Doom, even Medusa. All of those heroes are really difficult to do these Lifestealer bombs on, and as a result, it just made it. Without Blink, it was just impossible to get these kills. So I think it was just a situation that they were playing into.
Weaver did queue up the Axe, so you know, I was kind of agreeing with you earlier, but no, hold that thought, because actually Lifestealer swinging, the bomb comes out, but again, the Curse is doing so much work this game. The Soulbind is out, by the way. No Dooms on top of that just yet. They pick up the Grimstroke on the back lines, but they're pinging them out like crazy. Finally, the Soulbind wears off, and Wyvern's caught up to the side. He too dies, so 2 deaths so far on the side of the Radiant, but Princess, I don't think he's getting away. Medusa, the Eye of Scotty, they're just all running. They do not want to fight this Medusa, especially with the Stone Gaze. That's got to feel pretty good if you're Empire in the midst of this fight. And she does pick up the 1,000 mana talent, by the way, during the fight, even as she gets 25. Iceberg also caught by Weaver. Doom's running up with that new BKB of his. Still, no, he did use Doom, actually, in that previous fight. But Silent makes his way back to base, so Empire ends up coming on top, specifically with that presence of Medusa. You just can't fight her, it seems like, right now.
Yeah, her damage is okay. She's mostly utility and survivability, but it worked out great there. Because Tiny just kind of like a big ball of tankiness with his AC anyways, so.
Might as well try to go for high ground here. No buybacks on either Tiny or the Pugna. Silent, he's just trying to be a little tricky, I suppose. Distract.
Can't hit the guy.
Yeah.
Blinding light and evasion, I guess.
Needs that MKB. Yeah, Radiance, it all adds up. Okay, Refresher just finished. Connell. That's one way to hold.
Yes, we'll have the double ulti when it comes off cooldown. Use the last fight, so it'll be a while. And there's the Solar Crest being so useful. Oh, they're going to link?
Not linking up, but Silent's just dead. So he has a buyback. But without his teammates being up still, there's no point to use it yet.
Just by itself, the slow is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, Soulbind's underrated for that, I think. It's just, it also forces them to maybe run in certain directions that they don't want to, because they don't want to tether up. So
You guys still can bet. I'm sure the odds are getting better.
It's probably
If
getting a
you- if
little
you
better
want it.
now. Yeah, Empire's, then see, now it makes a little more sense to me. Now with the racks down especially, this is looking pretty grim right now for Winstrike, but 10,000 net worth lead, and there's another set of racks.
Dire's middle barracks.
Increasing that much more. Lifestealer's insisting on not buying back throughout all that. He definitely could have bought back for that second set there, but choosing not to.
It's a little hard, I think. I mean, your opponents don't necessarily have their ultimates, but if Lifestealer buys back and you try to set up and take a fight like that, then you could just easily lose. He'll have to buy back now, especially because
Yeah.
they're showing up here.
Now you have no choice.
They could also push out the creep waves and try to hope that backdoor comes in.
Oh.
But here's the buyback.
Okay, tossing in Medusa. That's a 1,000+ mana Medusa. Good luck killing her. Will-O-Wisp trying to help things out, but Doom in the backlands goes right on top of Rasta. Didn't necessarily doom him, didn't need it though. Princess also, he's locked down by the curse, as Silence specifically the one that focused. Cold Embrace helping to save Grimstone for the time being. Medusa though, again, she's still feeling really good. Rasta did buy back, so all 5 are currently up for Winstrike. This is quite a dive, honestly, from Empire. Maybe a bit too much, not necessarily focusing the objectives, but you know what? They're going to kill Silent. It seems like the Doom comes out, and that's a dieback on top of Lifestealer. He's out for 110 seconds. Weaver's picked off. Out for 90 himself, but now they're focusing on the Melee Rex finally. But they're not giving up still. Oh, did he just buy back with the time lapse? So he's back into the fight right now. We were realizing, yeah, this is probably the game anyways. Might as well go for it. And again, Winstrike without that massively farmed Lifestealer. Okay, they are going to kill the Rax.
This
finish
could
the mega.
keep going, though. This could be Medusa dying, but here's the issue. Decrep, oh, never mind. It's fine.
Oh, she's going to buy back, and she's got bots. She's going to TP right on in. Soulbind, Infernal Blade auto attack. Princess is dead. He has a buyback, so again, they could still stick in this a bit longer, as Pugno will also have to use one, but Rasta staying dead himself. Triple kill for Medusa. Came back in. They're just in overtime now. Let's have some fun, they say. Toss in Medusa, see what we can do. But GG is called. It's official. Empire takes game number 1.
Well, that was a really good game. I think Winstrike played their heroes very well too. It's just like you pointed out, they didn't really get that much map movement going on, and as a result, they weren't really able to take it to